I'm just thinking to myself, like, sometimes we'll get DMs from people being like, I love listening to your podcast. Like, I listen to them in the morning when I'm waking up or whatever. And thinking about people like listening to our like rant being like, yeah, Sophie Cunningham, I bet your platform is dog shit from a freaking butt in the morning while they're like having their coffee.
Oh, you twist your ankle. You freaking loser.
So I hope this is calming for
I
you
hope
guys.
you stub your toe and lose the whole nail.
It never grows back.
Your foot looks fucked up, bro. No one ever is gonna want to look at your feet ever again. You have to sleep with socks on. You gotta fuck with socks on.
Closed-toed shoes for life.
Keep those dogs away.
Dude, where are you? Pick up your phone. I'm going to a summer party tonight, and you're obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Hello.
Believe the world is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come right now. Let's see how far we've come.
What's up, everybody? And welcome back to Emotionally Online, the show for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drosbeck, co-hosted back in the cook chair. It's the one and only Meg Ruoko.
I'd prefer you to honey roast this co-host.
Ooh, honey roast.
Yeah,
that's
glaze it.
good. Well, I'm glad we started off on a good note because
Me too.
Unfortunately, the second thing I'm going to say in today's episode is not a good one.
I know.
And it's that we're in mourning.
We are.
Because today, on the day we are filming this episode, the one and only Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80.
Iconic. Everything that she did, everything that she touched turned to gold.
Yeah.
Just an incredible woman.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible woman, incredible singer, incredible creative person, and incredible philanthropist and like activist. She was cool as hell.
And how many people can say that? Fewer and fewer as the days go on.
Especially country stars.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Who the hell is Jelly Roll?
Nobody tell me. Stop talking to me about fucking Morgan Wallace and Gromit.
Don't tell me who that is.
Don't tell me who Morgan Wallace and Gromit is. I don't
know.
want to hear.
I was in the car with my dad last week and we were playing a game where we were going back and forth playing our favorite songs for each other. And then I was like, okay, let's do this next. I'll play my most played song on Spotify and then you play your most played song on Spotify.
Love it.
Mine was Von Dutch by Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Which is incredible that I've been able to rack up that many listens over the last 2 years.
Yeah, amazing.
That's how much it means to me.
Yeah.
It changed my life. But my dad's top song, honest to God, I don't even remember the artist anymore. It was some country song from some guy who my dad was telling me he was very upset because he's turned to gospel music now. But he used to do country. And I was like, that sounds like the trajectory that makes the most sense, actually.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm honestly surprised it didn't happen sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, all I'm saying is that if you're looking to become a country artist, look to the likes of Dolly Parton.
Yeah, please.
And Willie Nelson. And let's keep it more punk. Let's bring punk back
Yeah.
to country music. Why don't we?
In a major way.
In a major way. These guys have gotten a bit soft for my liking.
No.
Not that I've ever really listened to country music outside of Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson, but
I can't say that I have listened to much country music at all.
you know what? There was a period of time where the only thing that I would listen to was not Mumford and Sons.
Well, that would be deeply troubling if that was true.
Zac Brown Band.
No.
Also troubling. Yeah.
Meg.
Really troubling.
What were you going through?
Literally my most depressive episode at the age of 19.
And there he was when I needed him the most. Zac Brown Band.
All I could listen to was Zac Brown Band on
couldn't-
repeat.
Truly, I couldn't tell you one Zac Brown Band song with a gun to my head.
I'll tell you this much. Their rendition of Devil Went Down to Georgia live blows me away.
What's one that I would know?
Oh, God. Their worst ones. Their worst ones are the most
Okay.
popular. I got my toes in the water,
ass in the sand.
not
Okay.
a worry in the world. But here's what I will say is that their stuff that you haven't heard is
Okay.
actually preferable. And some of
Okay.
their harmonies are really cool.
Interesting.
But I'm still ashamed. I'm still ashamed.
Okay. Meg is ashamed, everyone.
I'm ashamed.
Offer her forgiveness in the comments.
Mark it down. Don't talk about this in my honey roast. A honey roast is supposed to be sweet.
So love of the week is Dolly Parton.
Love of the week is Dolly Parton.
Sending our peace and love to Dolly Parton and all of her gorgeous fans around the world. Hate of the week.
Hate of the week.
And this is like hate of the month, but we just haven't talked about this yet.
Hate of a while. Yeah.
Hate of a while.
Yeah.
And the hate of a while. This week's hate of a while.
This week, it really rolls off the tongue. This week's hate of a while. Get used to this segment. It is sticking. No edits.
No, my favorite thing about this show is how often we introduce segments that are never revisited.
Not ever. We bring something up and we're like, and we're going to come back to
We're going to do this again. And I was like, poof, gone next week. Okay, hate of a while goes out to Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, fuck you.
This
loser
fucking
bitch.
loser ass bitch who happens to host a podcast with Wes Wilson of all people.
Well, losers know losers.
So and I think they went to high school together, which is
that is so crazy.
someone needs to look into that town.
The concept of starting a podcast with someone you went to high school with.
And he happens to be a menace on Summer House, and you're a menace on a basketball court.
Who would you start a podcast with that you went to high school with?
Good question. Who would I start a podcast with in high school?
Because it's like, obviously, it's like there are people that you maybe are still in touch with now.
But
that's not actually where my mind goes. My mind goes to like random fucking people that I don't talk to anymore. I'm like, which one of you guys would be the funniest to start a podcast with?
Let's sit down and have a chat. Is anyone famous goes to your high school or went? I said that in the weirdest way possible. I forgot how to speak.
Is anyone famous goes to your high school or went?
I didn't finish school, according to the sentence that I just said.
Is anyone famous goes to my high school or went?
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge right now is anyone super famous from my high school. But John Hughes went to my high school, the director of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Huge.
And,
I was
Home
a
Alone.
big John Hughes fan when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I'm still a John Hughes fan.
16
Candles?
Yes. I don't know what just happened to me. I was about to say 16 Candles, and in my head was like, isn't that the Debbie Ryan movie? Because I think it also is. But my favorite movie growing up was 16 Candles.
Okay, yeah.
And then also in my head, I said 16 Handles, like the Froyo shop.
Right, yeah.
So
there was a lot
There was a
going on in
lot
there.
happening. There was voices.
Yeah. Your mind palace
Debbie
was
Ryan,
haunted.
Froyo. My favorite movie growing up with 16 Candles, and I rewatched it recently. Obviously, that movie is really flawed.
Oh.
Deeply, lots of problems going on there.
That's the one with the very racist portrayal of that Asian character,
very
right?
racist.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's bad.
That movie got stuck inside my laptop when I was like 14 years old. So truly, I watched it every fucking day when I was a teenager.
It got stuck inside your laptop?
My laptop wouldn't remove it. It was just like I put in the DVD to
DVD.
watch it, and then it never spit it back out. So
That
I was
is
like,
crazy.
guess this is my favorite movie now.
Love this
and I
movie.
watched it all the goddamn time, and it was really hitting back then as like a young girl who felt so undesired by everyone in the whole world.
Completely, yeah. And then
It's
at the
like-
end when she and that pretty boy kiss.
Yeah, exactly. Jake Ryan.
Yeah.
I was like, where's my Jake Ryan? I'm Samantha Baker.
Jake Ryan's such a hot name too.
Yeah, it really
They
is.
chose such a hot name for that guy.
They had, you know what,
Jake
there's
Ryan.
so many, like, I used to think that about Hannah Montana and Sunny with a Chance also. Because wasn't the crush on Hannah Montana, wasn't his name also Jake?
I think his name was also Jake. And was it Jake Ryan?
It might have been Jake Ryan.
Why am I feeling
That's
like
crazy.
his name was also Jake
I
Ryan?
know. And then the guy on Sunny with a Chance, what was his name? The
Well,
actor's
his
name is
was
Sterling Knight.
Yeah.
But what's the...
Why do I want to say it was like Chase or something?
I think it does start with a C. Cooper? Chad Dylan Cooper?
Chad Dylan Cooper. Chad Dylan Cooper. Yes, because they were doing like a goof off of like Chad Michael Murray.
yeah. Chad
Which
Dylan
honestly
Cooper.
is very funny.
Awesome. Also a sexy name.
Yeah, sexy name.
Okay, I don't know how we got here.
Yeah.
Oh, I asked you if anyone famous had been to your high school.
Yeah. Is anyone famous going to your high school or went?
I think The most famous person that went to my high school is probably Sasha Sloan.
I don't know who that is.
She's a singer-songwriter. She was
okay.
actually only 2 years above me growing
Nice.
up, and I took one of her Facebook profile pictures.
Whoa! Shout out to you.
That's my claim to fame.
Shout out to you, girl. So maybe she would be good to host a podcast with.
Yeah, me and Sasha Sloan,
Yeah.
who I had maybe 2 conversations with when I was 15 years old. But you know what, actually? If there's any Sasha Sloan fans listening to this, when I was probably in like 6th or 7th grade, I would think I was 6th grade actually, my town's TV station did something they called Hopkinton Idol, which
Love
was
that.
American Idol, but
Yeah.
for Hopkinton.
That's awesome.
And they would record it live in studio, and so they'd have a live studio audience, and it would air on our hometown's TV channel like once a week.
Every town should do this.
And me and my friend Emma used to go and watch the in-person tapings, and Sasha won Hopkinton Idol in like, what, this would have been like 2008, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, now she's like wildly successful.
Wow, good for
So
Sasha.
I actually feel like I could probably qualify as one of her first fans.
Yeah.
Because there I was in the audience of Hopkinton Idol, like, yeah, Sasha.
Yeah, you were in on the ground floor. Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's
I
like,
love
I
that.
think maybe one of the only people from my hometown that is.
Yeah. You just reminded me.
Famous.
I did sing with a lot of people who now have achieved like some level of fame. Like Jordy is like he's like a queer artist and is amazing and does like pop punk stuff. And I went to school with him, was in show choir with him. Shout out you, shout out Jordy. People who like I sang with in high school who are like now do Broadway stuff, but have never
Yeah.
necessarily done like they haven't necessarily been like the I don't know, the star. I don't know what like the
lead.
The lead is what I'm thinking of. I clearly didn't keep up with all of the musical terminology. But yeah, like there were a lot of that area of Illinois like breeds a lot of really talented musicians. So a lot of like very talented musicians come out of there. But other than that, I don't know. If you're famous and we went to school together, let me know.
Well, thank God we didn't grow up in the same town that West Wilson and Sophie Cunningham did.
I would have moved to a different school.
Something was in the water and it wasn't good things.
No.
If you don't know who Sophie Cunningham is, awesome. Honestly, I didn't really know who she was either
Thank God.
until I knew who West Wilson was.
Yeah.
It's all been downhill from there. Sophie Cunningham is a player in the WNBA, and she made comments to ESPN like a month ago about needing to protect women's sports and just being a nasty fucking transphobic loser. And as a result of that, there was like a support Sophie Cunningham movement that was started. And I think one of the more insane quotes from this story was she said something along the lines of, people are like, you have a platform, use it. And then once you use it, it's like, go back to playing basketball. Sophie Cunningham, this is how you want to use your platform?
To just be a transphobe?
You think the most meaningful way you can use your platform is to be a fucking transphobe.
Yeah. Right. She said, let me look at my options here. Okay. Climate change. Nope. Not interested in that. Okay. Equal rights. No, I'm not really interested in that. Wait, let me go back to equal rights. Equal rights for who exactly? Okay. I'm seeing people of color. Okay. I'm seeing women. All right. Trans women. No. Let me fight against that.
I want to protect our locker room because of all the things in the world I could protect, the locker room containing maybe 15 to 20 of us, that's the most important.
No. The 0.03% of trans women who are in sports?
I want to protect the locker room from Sophie Cunningham. That's who I want to protect the locker room from.
Yeah.
Just being a menace for no fucking reason. Trans people are not hurting you by existing.
Right.
Some of you are like really stupid, really fucking stupid. I think with all of the like turf discourse that's been happening online recently and constantly because people are always transphobic.
Yeah.
I would just like to put on record that if you are a transphobe, if you're a turf, we fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And you are not welcome here.
Correct.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We won't miss ya.
Okay,
You
bye.
don't even have to announce your departure because
No.
we think you are a fucko.
Yep.
Capital F fucko.
Yeah. Your beliefs are crazy and nonsensical
Yeah.
and wrong. So goodbye.
There are not trans people in the locker rooms doing anything nefarious.
Nope.
They're here for the same reasons that you are.
Yep.
They're playing the sport for the same reason that fucking you are.
Yep.
Stop being a loser for no reason. You're making up things to be mad about just because you want to, I don't know, feel like you're the victim in something that you absolutely are not.
And you are directly contributing to the oppression of a marginalized group in order for you to grift. That's crazy.
It's insane.
That's
so
crazy.
Then there was recently a protest outside of Barclays Center where people were going to support Sophie Cunningham and protest trans people in sports. And I saw there was a bunch of people doing interviews outside of Barclays Center where they were asking these people protesting to name their 5 favorite WNBA players, and they couldn't name more than Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham.
Right.
Because these people don't actually give a fuck about the WNBA or women's sports.
No, they don't care.
They're just here to be transphobic.
Yeah. They don't care about Ellie the elephant.
No.
And we fucking do.
We fucking do.
It's just nonsense. It's nonsense for nonsense's sake. And like them being direct contributors to fear mongering. And again, like putting marginalized and vulnerable groups of people at the center for their own tirade. And like ultimately trans women are the people who are most affected by these things and the most negatively affected by these things. And for transphobes to pretend that they are being attacked in any sort of way, when in actuality trans women are statistically so much more likely to experience violence in their lives because they are trans women, is absolutely absurd and ludicrous and makes my brain feel like it's melting.
Yeah. To make a trans person feel comfortable takes nothing away from you. It is so easy to be kind and to be welcoming to someone else. And I feel like every time the conversation of trans people in sports gets brought up, I feel like particularly fired up about it because my younger brother, this was like a big conversation growing up because my brother always played hockey specifically. And the conversation of like what locker room my brother was going to use growing up as a trans boy. And whether or not he was going to feel comfortable and safe in that locker room. Even like going to gym class in high school.
Yeah.
It became this whole to-do. Even if the people in charge are like, yes, we accommodate everyone. You can use whatever locker room you like. But then the culture itself still enables transphobes to lash out at these people in the locker rooms.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, even if he's allowed to use the locker room, he doesn't feel safe to.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I literally was just actually having this debate with my dad, like apropos of it was kind of random, but I was visiting home and I was hanging out with like my siblings and their significant others and my dad brought up, he was like, yeah, I just like don't really know about like trans people playing in sports, that sort of thing. And immediately I was like, oh yeah, we're shutting this rhetoric down fast. And my sister and my brother and their significant others and myself all basically were like, hey, like, why do you think that? And he was bringing up all of the like fear-mongering talking points. And my dad is like not a conservative person. Like that's not his bag. But he is, you know, an older man. And like, I think that rhetoric does reach people very easily. Yeah. And he was bringing up all of the talking points of like, well, you know, a trans woman has, you know, certain levels of testosterone and blah, blah, blah. And what if it gives them a leg up and da, da, da. And I was like, you know, number one, this issue is entirely, a fear-mongering tactic.
Yeah, this is a made-up problem.
This is a made-up problem in order to enact violence and hatred against trans people. There are, again, I don't remember if the statistic is 0.3 or 0.03%, but an incredibly small percentage of people in professional sports are actually trans. And when trans people have been like studied to, are like, oh, do they have a quote unquote biological advantage when they're, swimming or whatever the fuck? They don't. They're tracking the same as everybody else.
And like let's go along with it and say that they did.
Right.
There's lots of other reasons why someone could be biologically better at a certain sport.
Right.
Take tall people with basketball.
Right.
But are you going to then single out and be like, oh, actually, anyone over 6'1" is not allowed to play basketball because it's too much of an advantage? You would never say that because that's fucking ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. So are we capping heights now at like what, 6'6"?
Right.
Like,
so it's like even if you do see it as being like a leg up and it somehow makes it unfair, at that point, it opens up the door to categorize so many other different kinds of legs up that you could make an argument about.
Right. And it's like, okay, so why wasn't Michael Phelps banned from swimming? Because he has that fucking like lactic acid thing in his body.
Exactly.
It's like, okay,
let's just start getting mad about everything. Why don't we?
And it was really interesting because at the end of the conversation, my dad was like, he genuinely was like, okay, I'm glad that you guys like shared this stuff with me. I didn't really realize that, and it has like changed my perspective, which was like, I was really happy to hear because I feel like in conversations like that is rarely the outcome. But it was like very astounding for me to hear him say that because I was like, oh, this rhetoric has reached so many people and it's just playing this game of telephone so that by the time it gets to so many people, it's just like, this story becomes like trans people are trying to take over sports.
Right.
And it's like, what are you talking about?
Sincerely, what are you talking about?
What are you fucking talking about? This person who has like gone through a major change in their life has spent so much time thinking about who they are in the world and or are just like, I'm in the wrong body and I want to change that. Going through like hormone therapy, possible surgeries, all so that they can what?
Be a menace in the locker room.
Right. Or like win the 250 freestyle race. To what end?
I genuinely don't know. These are like made up fairy tale lands that these people are living in.
And again, it's like this is all Sophie Cunningham is doing this to grift. She is doing this so that she gets fame and acclaim and popularity amongst like MAGA and conservative groups of people. And she is doing it so that she can.
That's so fucking stupid though, because those same people are like, women shouldn't play sports.
They don't give a fuck.
Who gives a fuck about the WNBA?
Right. And they're only backing Sophie Cunningham because she is bootlicking all of these other fucking groups of people.
Yeah.
Like,
that's lame.
You are so lame. You're a fucking bootlicker. Like, this is pathetic behavior. It's pathetic behavior, and also it is incredibly harmful to people who are just trying to live their lives.
Right.
That's the thing that I have the biggest issue with is like, no matter how you slice it, you are your grift and scam is like directly hurting a very small group of incredibly marginalized people. Right. How fucking dare you? You're evil.
Yeah. Growing up watching my brother, my dad joined the like recreational hockey league that my brother played on, and my dad played with him every single week just so that Luke wouldn't have to use the locker room alone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you have the audacity to talk about your experience in locker rooms like you're the person that's at risk because a fucking trans person is there.
Right.
The trans person is at risk in that locker room.
Yes.
You are the aggressive one.
Yes.
You are the one that is being feared.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Right. Right.
Trans people deserve protections in those locker rooms.
Right.
You are not at risk.
Right. If a perverted man is going to attack you in a locker room, he's not a trans woman.
Right. Famously, men be doing that.
Men be doing that. And they don't transition in order to do it.
And they don't usually get a lot of consequences for it either.
Yeah.
So why would they go through all the trouble?
Right. And actually, all of the shit that you, Sophie Cunningham, are saying is enabling those men to do that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I hope you're happy.
Everyone tells me to use my platform, but when I do, they tell me to just stick to basketball.
Yeah, because your platform sucks.
Because it's possible to be wrong.
Maybe
it's possible to have a shitty fucking opinion.
Yeah, your platform is built out of fucking dog shit from a butt.
People wanted you to use your platform for something good, and you used it for the fucking stupidest reason your brain could possibly think of.
I hope she's bad at basketball. I don't even know what her fucking record is, but I bet it's bad. I bet that there's no shot that she's doing this and she's good.
I'm like putting hexes on her. I'm like, Sophie Cunningham's gonna be bad.
I'm hiring an Etsy witch. I'm hiring a fucking Etsy witch
I'm speaking
to curse
in
her.
tongues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run into Sophie Cunningham on the street and roll my eyes all the way to the back of my head. Oh my god.
Anyway.
Hate of the Wild, Sophie Cunningham. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Trans people, we love you.
We love you.
And yeah, TERFs and transphobes, get the fuck out of this podcast.
Yeah, leave. I actually don't even know how you found your way here.
I don't know how you got here either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea how you got here.
Someone DM'd the podcast account a couple weeks ago being like, are Republicans allowed to be here? And it took everything in me not to respond and be like, no.
No.
No, girl. How'd you get here? Bye.
Where did you even come from? What the fuck?
Are Republicans allowed here?
No.
No.
Have we been saying something that makes you think that you're welcome here?
Girl, what the hell?
But trans people, we love you.
Trans people, we love you.
Yeah.
Sophie Cunningham, suck a fart.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner.
We have nothing to say about you.
You are a different conversation for a different day, sister.
In my head, I was like, someone who's trans and Republican? Live your life, but also, I don't fuck with your vibe.
We dislike you for completely
different
separate
reasons. For non-transphobic reasons. I'm just thinking to myself, like, sometimes we'll get DMs from people being like, I love listening to your podcast. Like, I listen to them in the morning when I'm waking up or whatever. And thinking about people like listening to our like rant being like, yeah, Sophie Cunningham, I bet your platform is dog shit from a freaking butt in the morning while they're like having their coffee.
Oh, you twist your ankle. You freaking loser.
So I hope this is calming for
I
you
hope
guys.
you stub your toe and lose the whole nail.
It never grows back.
Your foot looks fucked up, bro. No one ever is going to want to look at your feet ever again. You have to sleep with socks on. You got to fuck with socks on.
Closed-toed shoes for life.
Keep those dogs away. All right, let's get into some audience submissions.
Let's do it.
What's new in your life? Ring, ring, ring.
Hey, I'm just calling in because my boss is being mean to me at work and like
Kill him.
Oh.
Hang up the call. Okay. First caller out of the way.
Okay, done. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
All right. Hi, Maddie and Meg. I was wondering what your thoughts are on things like if he wanted to, he would. I am 27 and took a big break from dating in the past few years due to mental health things. Now that I'm easing myself back into dating, I notice how the current narrative around dating on social media is being really strict about how quickly someone texts back / how much they invest. I am hesitant about this, knowing my own anxieties around dating and overthinking things. I know that sometimes being hesitant doesn't mean a lack of interest, while at the same time, I feel like I'm old enough now to not want to play games and wait around for someone. Curious to hear your thoughts, knowing that you always advocate for being vulnerable and a lover girl. Here's the thing about quotes like these. I feel like these like big blanket statement quotes actually help no one. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's helpful in dating to focus so much on like trying to predict what someone else may be thinking or feeling. All you can do is react to what's right in front of you. Mm-hmm. So if you're in a dating situation and the person that you're dating doesn't communicate the way that you feel most comfortable with, that's okay for you to end things with. Mm-hmm. It's okay for you to also give the person more time to grow into the relationship and to see how the communication can shift and change.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, I don't know how helpful it is to sit there and be like, oh, because I think one of the most common examples of this is like when someone's not texting you back and someone's like, oh, well, if he wanted to text you back, he would.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he would. And it's like, who cares about trying to predict what he does want to do or what he doesn't want to do?
Right.
What do you want? What do you feel comfortable with? Is this a match or is it not?
Yeah.
I don't think it's helpful to try to get into the mind of the other person. And also, like, everything can be true.
Yeah.
This doesn't apply in every single situation. For sure, there are some contexts, I would even jump to say a lot of contexts, in dating where this would apply. Because famously, people do a lot tend to stick around in dynamics that don't serve them. We are overly generous, overly accommodating, overly understanding. We've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
Where I feel like understanding is really emphasized to young women in dating. And I do think that people are more accepting of behaviors that they shouldn't be. But there's also room for people to be a human and be like, yeah, there's lots of things that I want to do that I haven't done. Fear gets in the way. XYZ gets in the way. Like, there's room to be a person. There's room to be a human. But usually when things like that are involved, you find out about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, eventually it comes to light. If someone's like, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't hear from me for 2 weeks because I went through a major personal trauma.
Right.
Like, if there's gonna be an explanation, you'll know about it. Again, I feel like planting yourself firmly in the present and just making your choices based off of like, does how I'm being treated align with the kind of relationship I want and the way I want to be treated?
Yeah.
If it's not, it's a no. If things change down the road, you can reopen them. But like, don't make your decisions based off of trying to predict what the other person is thinking or feeling. How do you think and feel?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think like so much of the kind of like dating discourse that we see on the internet and like these like platitudes of like, if he wanted to, he would, or like, you know, he does this thing, girl dump him or whatever, like all this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're some of the first people who are going to say dump him.
For sure.
But I also think that a lot of the rules that people kind of concoct when it comes to dating is a direct response to fear of no control.
Yeah.
You are trying to control something that you cannot, and you are trying to predict and get ahead of someone else's behavior in a way that you just can't.
Yeah.
And I really, as someone who used to and still sometimes has to actively stop herself from, like trying to predict every single outcome of like, oh, I just started seeing this person. What if it becomes this, this, and this, and what if he does this, and what if they do that, and da 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 da. I used to be like really enmeshed in all of that. And I think it is like very easy to become enmeshed in all of that because all you want is to, you know, find that all of people want is to find that type of relationship that, you know, like is the thing.
Yeah.
I have really tried to move away from that type of thinking when it comes to dating, and approach dating with a much more open heart and mind, and like leaning into the discomfort of, I actually don't know where this is going, and I don't totally know how it is that I feel yet. And being okay with that and sitting with the not knowing. I actually think it's very important and has been really important for me in my dating experience to start dating someone and not immediately make a snap decision about them based on their behavior.
I think it's also helpful because then it allows you to react more in a present sense when and if you are given more information about the person.
Yep.
Because I think sometimes people will like start dating someone and they'll be like, you're picturing the future. You're picturing yourself doing da 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 whatever. So then when you hear when you learn more about them, maybe you learn something that to you is a red flag.
Yeah.
You are more likely to make excuses for that red flag if you've already decided that like this is someone that I want to date and everything's perfect.
Right.
And you do that before date 2, and then on date 4 you learn a piece of information that is like, whoa.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
But you just bury it because you're like, well, we'll think about that later.
Right. Oh, I don't know. Maybe whatever. Yeah.
I just want it to all be good. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll just not look at that for now. Thank you. No, I think it's, yeah, totally. I mean, as recently as, a few months ago, I was seeing someone who, like, a point of conflict happened pretty early on in our dating phase in our
in the thing that we were doing
in our time that we were seeing each other, and it was completely external. But it was something that happened that like hurt my feelings, basically. And I was like very upset about it and whatever, and took a couple days basically to decide how I felt about the situation. And it was kind of a moment that I think if that had happened 2 or 3 years ago, I would have immediately called it and been like, that's it, that's done. But because I was able to kind of like pause and sit with not only this person, but also with myself and be like, how do I actually feel about this? And how do I want to proceed based off of what this person is telling me about this situation and how they are communicating this to me? I think it actually opened the door for more intimacy between us because we were able to like talk about something that was like kind of weird and awkward pretty early on and then like move forward from that. And it actually ended up being like a good, I think like exercise in conflict without there being any like cruelty. And it was something that I like ended up walking away from being like very pleasantly surprised by how he handled the situation and by how I handled the situation. And it ended up being something that I initially was like, oh, this is a red flag. And I walked away being like, oh, this is actually a green flag, how he like chose to respond in the aftermath of this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that people are scared, to put themselves out there and to be vulnerable and to that sort of, to do this dance over and over again. And I totally get that. And also, I just don't know anyone who like plays by these like quote unquote rules in dating and is having a good time. Yeah. I genuinely don't. They're maybe able to make content online about it.
Sure.
But I don't think they're actually enjoying themselves or getting any closer to finding something that is real.
Right. There's a spectrum to these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes phrases like this apply. Most of the time they don't. Ultimately, though, I don't like phrases like these because I also think they serve to make the dater feel badly about themselves.
Yeah.
Like when you're in someone's comment section being like,
If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would.
that person is hearing that being like, oh, so I'm not good enough to be treated XYZ away. That's obviously not the truth. That's not why people don't show up. It's like you're taking things more personally.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he would. It like almost reflects on you.
Right.
The reason why he's not doing this is because he doesn't want to, because I am not good enough.
Right.
And it just feels like that is a really reductive and kind of unhelpful way to look at things.
Yeah.
So I don't love phrases like these because I just feel like it so rarely applies. And I think especially with things like dating, to paint with such a broad brush is unhelpful. And ultimately grounding yourself in the present and grounding yourself in what you think and feel is the most helpful.
I think that when people use platitudes like these, they are trying to make things clean and easy for themselves. And dating often is like very messy and nuanced. Yeah. Not even necessarily between you and that person, but just like within yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really into those phrases.
My current girlfriend is trying to become friends with my ex. Almost 3 years ago, I dated this guy for about 6 months before I found out he was seeing 2 other girls who also believed they were in a serious relationship with him and still continued to see him after I told them at the same time as me. Not only that, but he was really emotionally insecure and was only ever interested in either having sex or dumping his emotional baggage. Naturally, I broke things off with him and haven't really heard about or spoken to him since. As of about 6 months ago, I started dating my current girlfriend, and the relationship has been a literal dream. She ended up getting a job as an audio engineer, and my ex works at the same spot and is her manager/coworker. At first, she was adamant that it wasn't going to be weird, she didn't like him, and it wouldn't even affect me. This couldn't be more wrong. Not only are they very chummy and cool with one another, but they've hung out outside of work with a larger group of coworkers. I'm a little stuck on what to do. I get that people can change, but this guy absolutely still sucks, and I don't want him in my life at all. Do I get over it and move on, or is this a fight I need to make a bigger scene about? First of all, what are the goddamn chances?
This is messy as hell.
What? Where the fuck do you live? Do you live in a town where there's a total of 20 people?
Yeah, do you live in the Footloose town?
Your ex is somehow your current girlfriend's manager at work?
What is going on?
That is crazy.
Whoa. Okay.
This is some drama that I'd cook up in Sims.
Yeah, this is fucking like
with like the literal 15
yes,
like pre-made characters that exist in the town.
This is like teen soap drama.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Well, my condolences. Regardless of anything else, this is just an awkward situation to be in.
Weird as hell.
For sure.
I too would feel uncomfortable if my current partner was buddy with someone who was cheating on me with 2 other people.
Yeah, I think that unfortunately this is a submission that I need more information on.
Yeah.
Because I don't really understand what quote unquote chummy means outside of just like having an amicable relationship so that they're
Right.
able to work together.
Coexist.
And also like the hanging out outside of work thing. At first I was like, but then also
Right. If
they were
it's
like,
just
if
like
it's
a work
group
event.
right? If it's like a work event group
That's
outing,
different. It's one thing if it's like your coworkers hanging out on the weekends as buds, or
Right.
if it's like post work, the whole office is going to get drinks or
Right.
something, and they just happen to be there, but you're not like really directly interacting at all.
right? Like that to me
Those
has
things are different.
yeah,
But like if it was like a group of 4 people hanging out on the weekends, or even 4 people after work, I'd be a little like, really?
yeah. Like how big was the group? Like again,
It depends on a lot of things.
It depends on a lot of stuff. So I don't really have a clear answer for this one or like a clear take. I think that it can really go either way. I would feel strange if my partner was coming to me being like, oh, your ex is actually really awesome. Like we work together and
Right.
he's awesome.
Well,
Like,
they say at the end, they're like, I get that people can change, but this guy absolutely still sucks and I don't want him in my life at all. Is he in your life?
right. This is I'm like how deep does this friendship actually go between your girlfriend and
If
this
it's
guy?
deep, I would have a problem with it.
100%. If they're like hanging out at if they're like each other's like besties at work and they're like, "Oh my god,
My work wife.
my work wife," like if they're each other's work spouses and like they're doing that shit, like
Which, by the way, that's diabolical regardless.
oh yeah, it is.
I feel like
The concept of a work wife and a work husband.
That's stupid. The only time I think saying work wife is funny is if it's like 2 women to each other.
Yeah, we're each other's work wives.
Exactly. A man using the term work wife, I think, is like that's a jailable offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that to me is giving like that's a man who wants mommy anywhere he goes,
Yeah.
which scares
That's a
me.
Jax Taylor is what it is.
That's fully a Jax Taylor. Yeah, like I think if this is a situation where it's like you got like they're hanging out outside of work, just the 2 of them, or even in small groups,
Yeah.
and she's like talking about him all the time or whatever, then of course I would have an issue with that, and I
Yeah.
would absolutely want to talk to my partner about that. If this is just a thing where like they are they have like an amicable relationship because they work together and he manages her, and then they like went out to like some big office outing.
Yeah.
That just might be what happens at this person's job.
And I think you're still allowed to be uncomfortable with that.
Totally.
But I don't know that you're allowed to be angry about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really depends on how close they are.
I think there's a range here.
If it's appropriate coworker dynamic, because this is, you know, your girlfriend's job, this is how she makes money, and you just want to keep the peace and go to your job and get a check and go home.
Right.
Or if it's like going past the like baseline level relationship that you have with your coworkers.
And this person also, it sounds like she is a direct report to him.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which is insane.
This is crazy.
This is like such an insane. Like,
how did this happen?
The power dynamics here are nuts. Like they're so
like,
crazy.
Who had the job first? Like, how did this happen?
Right. Like, how did she? Because she also, if she interviewed at this job and he was already there, she would have known that he was going to be her manager.
Right. Or did they start dating after the fact and then discovered that he was,
or did he
her
get
manager?
hired after her?
Right. I have so many questions.
Please let us know.
I have so many follow-ups.
Please send us a follow-up.
Yeah. You guys should start leaving your numbers in here so we can call you. You're like, hey, we have questions.
Hey, so we're recording right now. We have questions. Yeah, instead
extra
of
questions.
It's kind of like reverse radio stuff where it's like instead of you calling in, we call
you. We have more questions. So we're calling, hey.
Yeah, hey, so what's going on? Oh, your girlfriend's there. Put her on speaker. Hey, so like when did you get hired?
Tell us the full timeline.
Yeah, and like describe to us how big the group outing was and like what was the outing? Like,
and like what do you mean by chummy?
Right. What does chummy mean? Does chummy mean you guys are like throwing arms around each other saying like, hey, great job on that audio engineered project today?
Oh my God.
Right.
So we don't have a firm answer for you, but hopefully based off of what we did say, you understand what our answer would have been depending on the additional information you may or may not have given us.
Right. And send us your phone number in the meantime.
Hi, Maddie and Meg. Love both the shows and your work. Y'all are genuinely the best.
Aw,
I know that neither of you are trans, but as you're both queer fat women and in community with trans people, I'm curious of your thoughts on a recent source of introspection for me. I have long worked on my relationship with my body image, and as someone who's gained a lot of weight after struggling with an eating disorder in my teens, I have long worked on my relationship with my body image as someone who gained a lot of weight back after struggling with an eating disorder in my teens. In the past 5 or so years, your videos, Maddie, have helped me immensely with healing that relationship and increasing the peaceful time in my body more and more. However, I am non-binary and have transition goals and things about my body that don't feel quite right in a dysphoria way. I know that changing my body or how I present it is somewhat intrinsic to transitioning. I've been reflecting on how to make sure that it stays separate from the progress I've made with self-love and not wanting to change my body because of societal standards. But, of course, that's complicated. Is there a contradiction in me having peace with my soft chin and stomach but wanting my boobs gone or hating being perceived as feminine? How do I make sure I'm honoring myself both in my love for my body, whatever its size, and my rightful quest towards joy in my gender expression? I don't think any of this has a clear answer, but was interested in any thoughts or reflections y'all may have as beautiful and thoughtful queer and fat women who may have a different way of looking at this. I thought this was a very interesting question.
Very poignant.
Very. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there is a right or wrong answer to this at all.
Yeah,
I think agree. That our experience in our bodies is inherently deeply complicated and sometimes conflicting. Sometimes we will have beliefs about one part of our experience in our body that seems to be in direct conflict with another reflection or opinion we have about our experience in our body. And that is the human experience. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there's ever going to come a time in our lives where like our perception of ourselves or our experience with our bodies is so clean cut and everything fits together like this perfect puzzle.
Yeah.
And I think especially if you're someone who used to have an eating disorder and have struggled with your body image in that way, I can totally see how throughout the course of transitioning that would be brought up in various ways. That said, I don't think that by honoring the changes you want to make in terms of your gender, you are abandoning the work you've done to accept yourself in other ways or to this point that you've currently reached. I think that like our relationship with our bodies is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And like I've thought about this a lot just like in way of growing up and watching my body change in that way. But I feel like I've had to have so many different reckonings with my body. It's like there's one reckoning that happened when I was 13 and I like first started to mature in my body.
Right.
And then there's another reckoning that happens when you're like 17, 18. And there's another when you're 21. And there's another when you're 25. Another when you're 30. Like there's so many reckonings that happen.
Yeah.
It's not like you reach a place of peace with your body and you never have to revisit it. Like we're constantly revisiting that and having this reckoning and trying to find true peace and acceptance in our bodies. And I feel like that is also like very relevant to the trans experience also, in like you've done a certain amount of reckoning in your body throughout your life to this point, and now in going through a transition you're doing another reckoning on top of that. That doesn't negate the progress or work that you've done up until this point at all though.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you need to feel bad at all about changing your body in ways that would make you feel more aligned in your gender expression. And I don't think that means that, I think these are two different things. Like I think that to change your body out of like the belief, the societal belief that you are less than, if you do have that thing, like believing that if you're fat, you are less than and you want to change your body because of that, that is different than wanting to get rid of your boobs because it doesn't feel in alignment with the person you see yourself as.
Totally.
Those are two different things. And it sounds like you've done a lot of great body image work and reckoning that I wouldn't feel so worried if I were you. It seems like you have a good head on your shoulders and perspective about your relationship with your body and the healing you've done from your eating disorder.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not so clean cut, and that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was beautifully said. You covered kind of everything that I was going to touch on, which, yeah, I mean, I think that this is, like you said, Maddie, like two things that are kind of like topics that are in dialogue with each other, but are not the same conversation.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think that a reckoning will just continue to happen. Like there will always be moments when you are constantly interacting with your body. And as a result, you will constantly have feelings and thoughts about it. And I think that that is completely understandable. And to especially be at like a point in your life where you are, you know, having had gone through this transition and are now like in this place, I think it makes complete sense that you are like questioning these things. You know, I think about this a lot when it just comes to like my own experience as like a fat woman, and the struggle of like constantly redirecting my brain into like, I want to feel a certain way, not look a certain way. And we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's a really hard thing to rewire in your brain. And it sounds like you are doing that important work of like, how do I want to feel as opposed to like, how do I want to look? And I also think it is okay to like want to look a certain way. I think it is an incredibly difficult dance to find like the peace within you. This is how I feel, this is how I look, and that works for me, as opposed to this is how I feel and this is how I look and that works for everybody else. I think it is like a really slippery slope into I'm doing this so that I can appease other people. It sounds like you've already done a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's not going to go away
Totally.
because you are calling these things into question. I think that you are just at a different level in your life, and as a result, you are being faced with new questions about yourself. And that will just continue to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And whatever choices that you make in regards to your body or your appearance is not going to be without the information that you have gathered for yourself, and all of that work that you have done to like untangle yourself from like fat phobia and like societal expectations of how a person should look.
And like these things are also so layered in that I also understand that like there's elements of like having soft features that are categorized as being more feminine.
Yes.
So I can understand how that could also be complicated. But I think the fact that you made note to say that you are someone who has embraced and found peace with having a soft chin and stomach, but you want your boobs gone and you hate being perceived as feminine. I think that like being able to find peace with like your soft chin and stomach would indicate to me that you are already doing some kind of reckoning in detaching all kinds of softness with being equivalents to femininity.
Yes.
And being able to find masculinity or androgyny in these traits in your own way. And I understand there's like, there's just layers to this kind of reckoning. And just because something is usually regarded as being feminine doesn't mean that it has to be.
Yeah.
And I think that like gender is something that is so expansive, and there's no like one way to express what your gender is. And it just seems like you're already doing a good job of embracing the parts of you that are, while remaining curious about the parts of you that you want to change.
Yes.
And you're mindful of like where those urges come from. I feel like a lot of the time it just goes back to asking yourself why. Like when you want to change something about yourself, or you have a feeling about a certain part of your body, a lot of it is just like remaining curious about yourself and being like, why do I want to change that?
Yeah.
Why do I want to get rid of this part of my body? Why do I want to add this part of my body? Like where does that feeling come from? And digging into that. Because once you do, you get to the root and you'll figure out if it is, oh, I wanted to change that because society told me I should, versus, oh, I actually wanted to change that because to change that would make me feel closer to the way I want to express my gender on an individual level.
Yeah.
But it is complicated.
It is. And I think you're dead on just about being curious and remaining curious and meeting yourself without shame, and keeping an open mind and an open heart to what it is that you might need at any moment as you're kind of moving into this phase of your life. And again, it sounds like you're already doing that.
Yeah. You're doing okay.
Yeah, give yourself some grace.
That was a good submission, though.
Yeah, that was very good.
Interesting and layered. I like it, Picasso.
Real thinker, Picasso.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out on this fine Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for selling out both of the trips next summer.
We're so amped.
We're going to freaking Italy and we're going to freaking Greece, and it's going to be the best time ever.
Woo!
If you didn't make it onto the trips, but you're still interested, you can add yourself to the wait list and maybe you'll get off of it. Every year, there's usually a couple spots that open up. Things pop up. People drop off the trip. And if you're on the wait list, you will be notified if a spot opens up and you can just swoop right in there and grab it. So who knows? If you didn't make it, put yourself on the wait list and you might find yourself on the trip anyways.
Patience is a virtue.
Exactly. Be sure to follow the podcast at Emotionally Online Pod on Instagram and TikTok. You can support the show, watch the post show over on Patreon. You can follow me at Maddie Drosbeck.
You can follow me at Meg Ruocco.
And we will see you guys in next week's episode.
Bye.